Prove this is mine. Let's go into assignments. Just run the entire script. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. Okay, so let's start with the first one. Should be right here. Guitars, 3, 3, same result. Perfect. I used aliases, although it wasn't too necessary, but just to get rid of ambiguity, grouped by category ID. So that's why it's guitars, pianos, keyboard, sax. Order by count descending, 3, 3 to 2. Yep, category name, count the rows, take the max of list price, make it most expensive. Yeah, so that was the first one, pretty easy. Second one right here, select email address. So first of all, from musicians, order instruments and orders. Those are the tables where order IDs are the same. The musician ID is the same, therefore I don't have to join anything. Group by musician ID, that's how I sorted it out. And then also to order by item price total, that's greatest to least. Yeah, the group by musician ID helps to so that I don't get duplicates of the same one. And then select email address, sum of the item price times the quantity. So item price times quantity is item price total. Let's go to query 2, make sure it's the same values. And then the discount is discount amount times quantity. You sum up the discount amount as discount amount total. You get that same value, so that's good. Let's go on to query 3. I think this one is wrong for what was put on the Excel document, because if we look at that real quick, if we go to query 3 and query 4, or let's look at question 4. It says modify exercise 3 so that blah 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 blah, right? So they should have the same data more or less, but query 4, it's 3 on Alan, 3 on Frank. But in query 3, it's 2 on David and 2 on Alan. So I think there's missing data on the Excel doc, but regardless, this is what I got for query 3. 3 on Alan, 3 on Frank, 2 on David. And I checked the tables, and it seems to check out the way I wanted it to, but I'll just run through it. Email address, count of the order IDs, take the sum of item price, amount, quantity, take the sum of that as order total. From musicians, join orders on the condition the IDs are the same, and then join the instrument orders on the order IDs the same. Group by email address. Yep. Having order count greater is 1. You use having because where doesn't work here. Same thing as previous assignments. So yeah, order by order total descending. And then if we were to look at the order count, the way I know that Alan Sherwood, even though it says 3 on the Excel document you provided, the way I know it's true is we go into orders. I already have that up. Nice. Orders, and then what are we looking for? Well, we have to know who's who, so I think we need to get musician table as well. But Alan Sherwood, his musician ID is 1. Alan Sherwood is 1. So his order musician ID is 1 and 3. Right? 1, or it's his order ID is 1 and 3. So he has at least 2. But then we go to order instruments. Run that real quick. Order ID of 1 and 3. 1. Wait, I forgot what I said. Order ID is 1 and 3. Order ID is 1 and 3. So we should have quantity 1. Wait, Did I do this wrong? Maybe. Shoot. No. Well, I don't know, but I think I'm correct. So, order musician ID 1. Let's move this order. Musician ID 1. So, he has order ID of 1 and 3. 1 and 3. Order instruments. Order ID 1 and 3. Quantity is 1 and 1. Did I do something wrong here? Wait. Oh, order ID is 1 and 3. Okay. Wait, no, I still did something wrong. Order ID is 1. Oh, there's 2 3s. That's what it is. So that's 1, 2, 3. So the count here should be 3, which I got. And same with Frank. Frank is music 6. Music 6, so he is number 7. And then we go to I-87. He also got 3. So I think I got this correct. Might have been a typo in the Excel. So there's that. And we go to the 4th query. It's this one. Modify it so that... So the only difference is really this where right here. Order matters. If you have it like under here, you're going to get a syntax error. I don't know why too much, but yeah. But it's the same code, I believe. Yeah, it's just this one added line, and then that gets rid of the person that had only 2, because his order total was 788, which means both of his combines were like under 400, and I think he got the same item twice, so that's why that's gone. Question 5, select statement. Yeah, so let's go to, there's query 4, I got the same result. Query 5, so main thing to look for is null 7589, null 7589, and then if I got everything else correct, I believe I did, and select instrument name. Gotta use aliases again because we're joining. Take the sum of the item price minus discount times quantity, and then join on the condition that the instrument IDs are the same. Group by instrument name with rollup. The with rollup adds this null line right here, and it just groups all of this total, adds it together, and we get that. That's the with rollup. It's like a sum of your table, more or less. Question 6. Let's go to query number 6. Query 6. Should be getting 323, 323. Yes, indeed. And then there's that. So select email address. Count distinct instrument IDs. Why did I have to do that again? 6. Which musicians have ordered more than one instrument? Oh, okay. So you count the distinct instrument IDs per musician, basically. That's the pseudocode, so to say. So for each musician, whoever has one will have one. But if they have a different instrument than ones that has already been counted, you count another. So that's why you use distinct. A count of distinct instruments per email address, or per musician. That's what we're using, the email address. Join on the condition that the musician ID and the order ID are the same. Group by email address, so that you don't have to have like 3 Allens all having one. And then having count distinct is greater than 1. Yep. Then order by email address, same result as answer. I go to query 7, number 7. To try the if grouping and the with rollup, yeah, so this one, main thing is, if we look at the answer reference, grand total, there's some, yeah, no, this is fine. Grand total, category total, that's the main thing we're looking for, and how I formatted that, so let's get to it. Number 7, so select statement, if grouping. The way this works is that, I could have just passed a category name, like without all of this, right? But if or actually it'd be c.category name that I'd use as the reference for this name, and then I'd get the row for category name from the table. But the way this works is that if the grouping in c.category name, so if this value right here in the row is typically you'd say equal to something, but like the way this works is that if it's not equal to anything, it's defaulted to if it's null. Like if I put equals null, this does not work the way I want it to. So you just put if grouping c.category name, and then if it equals null, which is like, I guess, preset in a way somehow. I'm not too sure, but that's how the documentation writes it. Make it say grand total, and then replace c.category name if it were null there. So this is like the if statement. If this equals null, this is true. Otherwise, this is false. That's kind of what this is like, but this only occurs right here at the end of the table. But this is the main one that you see a lot. So like after each and every like grouping of category, there's going to be another one that says category total, and that just adds up all of this 2316, and these values are counted through this line right here. Some quantity is quantity purchased, and then this values added up all that from categories table, join on the conditions, and then with rollup gives the entire not all of it added up, but the category totals added up. So like category total is more or less like a empty, not a, it's like a placeholder. Like it doesn't actually exist. I created these rows with all this. So 6 plus 2 plus 2 plus 4 plus 1 should equal 13. The math is correct. Now on to number 8. Let's go here, query number 8, just in case. Yeah, so order ID, item amount, order amount, and then the values are the same. You could check yourself, but I'll explain how I got to this. So write a select statement, aggregate window function. So I didn't know if I had to use the window that I use in question 9, but I didn't. So, oh well. But there's this is the main thing, the sum and the over. So select order ID. Yeah, that'll get every order ID that happens in the order instruments table. So if we let's order instruments, order ID, same table, 1 2 3 3 4 7 7 7 8 9. That's that. That's where those values come from. Item amount is calculated by taking the item price minus discount amount times quantity in each row. So that's that. And then this is the main juice of the problem. It's the sum of this same value, but over partition by order ID in like less technical terms, that means for every order ID, the order amount will be equal to the item amount for every order ID summed up. So best thing to look at is number 3, item amounts. These are separate, and this order amount is the sum of the both. It's repeated twice because this plus this equals this, but this plus this also equals this, but this was the intended way of writing it. So the problem, and we'll actually see how to write it differently in the next problem, but that's that over partition by, yeah, that was the logic for there. Query number 9, let's go to that, and then, so now we modify solution 8 so that it contains a cumulative total in each mal. And if we go to the homework reference, the answer reference, that's basically, let's look at 3 right here. So, what am I? Oh yeah, that's just the average. So for 3, this plus this divided by 2 because there's 2. Average, that row is really easy. But this is the main juice. So like, what's it called? Start off with first item 253, and the next item is 1208, same ID. This will be the cumulative total, and then if we look at 7, that's like the biggest representation. Like this goes there, this plus this equals this, and then this plus this equals that. That's the cumulative total that we're going for. And the way that's come about is same logic here. So select item amount, summing, the summation creates order amount. And to also implement this, is it called a sub window or like frame? I forget what the term is, but that's made so that it's more or less like a variable x equals y. So it's more or less like another alias type variable, or like just reference the same thing. So rather than saying partition by order ID, I could just put in my window. So that's useful syntax, and I do that twice again for the round. Logic's pretty straightforward. Average, round it to 2 decimals, name it. All of this is from order instruments. And yeah, that's question 9, and then we go over to 10. Select statement, doing a lot of stuff. What's it called? Yeah, so did all of that. Musician ID, order date, blah, 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 blah. So musician ID, order date, pretty straightforward, right? Musician ID, order date. And then like how it gets ordered and whatnot is mainly happening here. So first of all, we need to state what table we're starting from, orders O, and then we're joining with the order instruments on the condition that the order IDs are the same. So that will get all the things we need, more or less. This item total, same thing as like previous problems, straightforward. Find the line, minus the discount times the quantity. That's the item total. Musician total is the sum of a musician's items over their entire history. So all 3 of these, add those together, you get the musician total. That's why you get it 3 times. Then musician total by date, that's mainly saying how much has the musician spent at X date. So see how these 2 dates are different. So at this one date, he's only spent this, but by this next date, which is the same, he spent this amount, and that's created by basically just adding the next date. It's more or less another cumulative total, but the the way it's created is through a range of values, and that's here. So see how it's also like the cumulative order format, the over partition by, then order by order date. The only thing that needs to be added in the over statement is the range between unbounded preceding and current row. I took that from the from one of the slides because it looked similar and it worked out, but basically it's saying like where you've been. So say musician ID, you're gonna take this going off of where you've been and the current row you're at. So if we're at the first row, well, I haven't been anywhere yet, but I'm at this, so that's how I got that. And this is the sum. So, but when I'm here, it's unbounded preceding, so everything that came before, and current row. Well, although it looks like I shouldn't have this value added, I do, because like it's the same date, so like their values are added at the same time. So that happens again, I think, for 6 and 4. Logic still applies, and it's not a cumulative total, or the total is based on the partition of the IDs. So that's its own, that's its own, that's its own. And that's assignment 2.